Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. I'm here. Are you here? It's Thursday. Thursday, shall we say? Anyway, welcome. It is the Daily Dish, and today is Thursday, as we like to call it around here. And several things going on. As you know, we just had our goals webinar. That was this past Tuesday. And wasn't it so fun? I mean, I had a good time with it. We got some good feedback from it. And I told you all about my system for building goals that you can actually have happen in your life. Isn't that such a great, big, huge thing? You can find that at savingdinner.com/goals. That's where we house it all. Hello, my sweet Nancy, mother hen. Cheers. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Anyway, so I'm telling you about that because today I just signed another stack of these journals, and they are going out the door pretty quick. And you're going to have this journal if you want to be a part of the goal setting class that I have. It's a master class, really, and it's using the journal. And that is coming up on Monday, September 12th. I mean, it's around the corner, y'all. Can you believe we're in September already? Where did September come from? I'm not done I took Lincoln on his walk today. There were leaves everywhere. We have got gold in the trees already. September 1st. Now, we live in the mountains, so yeah, of course that's going to happen, but goodness gracious. Hey there, Martha. Anyway, so yeah, summer is just flying out the door. But you know what? We still have a whole rest of the year to deal with. And that's my heart for you, is that you get what you want out of this year. Amen? I mean, we don't have to just say, oh, it's just been a crappy year and here come the holidays and let's just get through them and then hope for the best for the rest of the year. And then really have regrets starting January 1st. You know what I'm talking about. Let's not do that. Let's be women of action. Let's be wise women who stand up, who take back their lives and take back the life that they want to live. Is it vibrant or is it not? You get to answer that. Doris, good afternoon to you. I know you're ready, Nancy. My girlfriend Nancy is always ready. And you know what? The thing about Nancy that is different than a lot of women that I've met along the way in my lifetime is she takes action on things. She doesn't let the grass grow under her feet. She takes action and she does the work. You do the work, you get the results. What can I say? So we want to not only be hearers of the word, we want to be doers of the word. You heard that one before? Hello, Lynn. Hello, Kathy. I'm glad you're here. We want to be those women. We want to be those women who don't just sit there and wish upon a star, but instead step up to the plate and say, batter up, let's go, right? I want to play on the field. I don't know about you. I know spectator sports, forget about it. No. Let's play. Let's do. Let's be a part of. That's what this is about. All right. So you can get that webinar. It's free, guys. It is free at savingdinner.com/goals. It's small sign up. Just go get it. But I'm telling you, it is all right there. You want that information. It is all right there. Right, Chris? Chris was there. It was great having you. Alice, good to have you here too. And then the other thing that I want to tell you is that we have this bomb of a sale. When I mean bomb.com, like this is hot stuff here, y'all. There's several supplements that we are discontinuing. They just don't sell that well. And why keep something that doesn't sell that well, right? We like to keep fresh stuff on hand. You're going to save big time, like crazy big time. more than half off on most of them. Go to savingdinner.com/sale. That's where they all are. Go get them, right? Go get them. Hey, Cornelia, good to have you here. My friend Cornelia, my old neighbor. And I don't mean old Cornelia. You know what I mean. Cornelia and I were both homeschool moms raising our kids in Green Creek, North Carolina. You're still there, right? Anyway, it was quite an adventure, with the kids and all of that. We learned, don't we learn a lot from each other? I learned a lot from Cornelia. So I also, one last thing that I want to mention is if you go to savingdinner.com/announcements, that's where you're going to find everything that I'm talking about. The sale page, it's all there. The goals webinar, it's all there. And helpful hint, go get the journal. This is what it looks like. This journal is incredible. This journal is going to teach you all the things. Keep it all in one place. It's going to light you up, and it's going to give you the tools that you need in order to get those 12 weeks dialed in. Patricia, hello. I saw that you got your journal, and you know how I know Patricia got her journal? Because I signed it on the inside, and there's a right here, this page right here. I personalize it, each and every single one of them, to you. Love me. Because I just want you to know you're seen and you're heard. That I don't know of a single woman in this life who doesn't want to be seen and heard, understood, loved, cared about. Don't we all? That's what it's about. So I'm thank you, Lynn. She said she agrees it was inspiring. I'm so glad you found it inspiring. I want to inspire a whole lot more women. So come on down, go to savingdinner.com/announcements and check out that page with all the different offerings that we have. And you'll be able to, read everything at your leisure, but that's where it all is. Now I'm going to bring on TikTok, because I do that every day. Our friends on TikTok, welcome. We're talking about cherishing today. This whole week, we've been talking about goals, and we've also been talking about my journal, which is sitting right here. This is it. That's it. I'm not going to show you what's in it. It's private. It's personal. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something, that my journals have become sort of guideposts for me as I go back and look at them. I go back, and you know what I see in these journals? I see wisdom. I see foolishness. I see misguided thoughts. I see thoughts that I need that right now. Why haven't I acted on this? I see all kinds of stuff. And this is what a journal does, is it captures your moments that you care to share with your journal. And it gives you an opportunity to think about things, or to dump things off, or whatever it is that you need to do with your journal. All I know is this: we can only hold so much in our head. Do you agree with me? Does anybody know what I mean with that? There comes a point in time where it's just, you got to get it out. And if you can download it onto something, it can make you feel better, and it can help you to start creating a different pathway, or think about something else for a change. It's really interesting how these journals work. And there's all kinds of research that back journaling as a really good self-care tool. And I believe it. I think, to me, journaling is like therapy. And you don't have to be an author to be a journalist, right? And when I say a journalist, I'm not talking about somebody who's on CNN. I'm talking about being a woman who, pen to paper, I always use a pencil. It just makes me feel better because I don't like making messes. Perfectionism, I know, but so what? And then it has an eraser, and it's big, and it holds in my hand just like a third grader. I love it. So those are just some of the things that I do, because I stopped journaling when I saw some scratch outs, and I was just like, oh yeah, this didn't work. Is that goofy or what? Doesn't matter. Anyway, let's get into the meat of the matter, because I'm going to tell you right now what I want to share with you that came straight out of my journal, went straight into my heart when I read it again today. Okay? Cherishing moments is the ultimate expression of gratitude. This is what I wrote in my journal. Cherishing moments is the ultimate expression of gratitude. Do you know why this is? Do you know why this is? It's because when we cherish our moments, we're cherishing our time. If we cherish our time, we're telling the one who made us how much we appreciate that time. We're not just waiting for big moments, we're waiting for moments that we can cherish at any time. And there's plenty of them, there is plenty of them. But if you look at time, what is time? I mean, it's a daily gift, isn't it? This is why it's called the present. Get it? It's why it's called the present. But time is something that wise women cherish. They protect, and they're mother hens, really, over their time. And they care for it lovingly. They hold it dear, and they hope to keep love alive in these moments with their children, with their elderly parents, wherever it is that you are. Because I want to bring to your attention something, that the babies that you're holding right now in your arms, they are going to grow up and become teenagers. And sometimes teenagers can be fairly unpleasant. Has anybody experienced that? Me? Besides me? Anyone? Just asking. Those teenagers then, they go to college or they don't, or they, whatever it is that they do, they become adults. And maybe they have children of their own, and they, marry, and they start their families. And then elderly parents, they move on to glory. They're not going to be here forever taking up all of your time, and energy, even though it is selfless work that we do when we are loving up our parents. It's a lot, and it is an energy drain a little bit. But at the same time, there are things that we can do in order to really cherish that time. Because remember, cherishing time is the ultimate expression of gratitude. So I think about, all the moments that have been hard and trying in my life, raising children and caring for my mother. I think about the times where it was really pretty awful. And I didn't have family nearby to help. It was me. And except my daughter was here, my son. They were both in the Charlotte area when we were taking care of my mom. And they helped some, of course, they had lives too. They had other things. But I just remember that, it got awkward. Do you remember the first time that you had to go and, scrub your mom's bottom, for heaven's sakes? It's awkward, but finally, we started laughing at it, and I'd say, come on, old girl, it's time to scrub you down, and she'd start laughing. And then we'd laugh in the shower while she was sitting on her little shower chair and everything. And I said, Mom, it's come to this. And she would always she'd push me away like a fly or whatever. But we'd just sit there, and then we'd laugh. And then afterwards, I'd give her a good massage with her. We put coconut oil on her. She had very, very dry skin, and then put a nice coat of Lubriderm over the top of that. And she just, and I bought her this big white fuzzy robe, wrapped her all up, put her in a blankie, kept her nice and warm. And she just relished it, loved it, And I just remember every time that I did this, I remember feeling in my heart, this could be the last time. That was a lot, or, I didn't have a lot of time, or I had all this stuff going on at work. I had these overarching emotions that just went everywhere. Are you familiar with that? Do you remember how that felt to be in that position of loving someone up, and yet it was hard, and yet you had other things to do, and yet. Well, finally we got help, and that was helpful. When she was put on hospice, we had somebody come in and take that task off of me, which in a sense, I was happy to give it up to somebody else who was a lovely woman who helped us out through right to the end. But on the other hand, I also kind of missed that time a little bit together. So The thing though that I'm trying to make the point on, if you can just forgive my how long it's taken me to get there, is that I could cherish those moments. Some of her last, by the way. I could cherish those moments or I could have begrudged them. I could have. And there were times where I wanted to begrudge them, but I pulled back and instead made a decision to love it anyway, even though it was hard. And when my children were little, and this, you who are in the firestorm of little kids, this. They leave piles of shoes everywhere at the door. Their stuff is everywhere. Their little handprints are on the door, on the windows, and they have sticky hands. They're spilling stuff. They're in and out of the house. All the flies are coming in with them. Right? But then they leave the house and you miss the chaos a little bit, a lot of it. You miss those piles of shoes because they were attached to the little people that you were raising. You miss all of that stuff because we too often didn't cherish the time with our kids. I know I didn't. I wish I had a whole lot more. Right across from where I am, there is a picture of my daughter and son-in-law when they got married. And then right below that is a picture of my daughter and son running across a field in rubber boots. It was in Green Creek, by the way, Cornelia, my neighbor. It was in Green Creek. They got their rubber boots on. They got a pair of shorts on and T-shirts, and they're running with the goats across the field. And I just remember watching that. I remember taking the picture. And of course, we didn't have smartphones back then, y'all. We didn't have smartphones. Taking the picture and just thinking, this will only last for such a short period of time. As exhausted as I was homeschooling and doing everything else. And I was a freelance writer at the time too. And I remember I would stay up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning working, because I was writing. And then get up at the crack of dawn. I was so no sleep at all, back in those days. Get up at 6 with the kids and deal with the animals on our little farmette. It was quite a time. It was a beautiful time. And too often I did not cherish those moments. So here's the thing that I came out of this. Yes, there you go. Amber said, whenever I get frustrated at the mess, I say a thankful prayer for the people who made it. Yes, yes, yes. I remember reading, and I was doing a Bible study, and I remember reading, a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish woman tears it down with her own hands. And to me, that was obviously ingratitude, is tearing it down. And I remember when I was doing the laundry, and I stopped complaining about it, and I started doing little prayers. So I'd pick up Caroline's dirty grassy shorts and I'd throw them in the wash, and I'd say, God bless her, and her playing and her being outside and her little heart and her sweetness. And each piece of clothing or, whatever that was put in there, I would bless each one of my children and pray for them, because it changed my heart, and it changed me from being ungrateful to being full of gratitude, full of love, and full of this opportunity to really love my children up and to not miss that moment. I might miss the big moments, some of them, during the day, but I didn't miss those moments when I was there doing their laundry. But love wins when the heart is steadied by this idea that we cherish our moments and that our moments are full of gratitude when we do. And the requirements for cherishing, though, we have requirements so that we can cherish. And you know what those are? It's focused mindset and making a decision to do so. That's what it is. When my kids were little, I saw this on TV, and it was some Steve, whatever his name is. I can't remember his name, but he was a late night host, and then in his later years he would come on, but I can't remember his name. You guys know who I'm talking about. But he would say, Johnny Carson was interviewing him one time, and Johnny Carson asked him, he said, Well, your kid, how are your kids doing? And they're all grown now and whatever, whatever. And he goes, you read about Hollywood parents all the time, and these Hollywood parents are having trouble with their kids all over the place. He said, your kids haven't had these troubles. Steve Allen. Thank you, Chris. Steve Allen. And he said, your kids haven't had this trouble. And he said, they seem happy and adjusted and what have you. And he said, why is that? And he said, I'm going to tell you what I did every night. And I started doing this, by the way, after I saw Steve Allen say this. He'd say to them after we said their prayers and everything, and he goes, I just want to remind you, you're having a wonderful childhood. You are having a wonderful childhood. And I would say this every night, this is really pretty great. Look at where we are, on this farm and doing all these things. You're having a wonderful childhood. I planted that seed every single night. And later on, and this is my hand to my heart, Caroline and Peter were talking about stuff, growing up. And my daughter's like, what are you talking about? Because he was talking about some bad thing that happened. She said, what are you talking about? We had a wonderful childhood growing up. Hello. You might say that was a seed that was well planted. So strong suggestion, use Steve Allen's approach to his kids' childhood and remind them that they're having a wonderful childhood. How else do you have a magical childhood unless somebody's going to remind you that that's what's happening, right? We have to remember that our influence is a confluence. This is how we merge a renewed focus, a corrected mindset, and a decision that we cherish every single one of our moments, and we take our people along with us. We want to cherish our moments. We don't want to curse them. We want to love our people up. We don't want to put them in a place where they're also cursing their lives, do we? Cherish the moments. And cherishing the moments is always, always, forever and ever going to be the ultimate expression of gratitude. It's a whole different mindset. It's a whole different way to live your life. And I will tell you that when you do this, and when you get into that place of that kind of love, then it's going to spill out over everything and everyone. That's how much influence you have. That's how much influence you have. And don't you forget it. It's so important. Now, don't forget about getting the journal so that you can go to the class, so that you can do all the things. Everything that I talked about at the very top of the show is at savingdinner.com/announcements. If you go to that link, you're going to see everything that we have there. Peace be with you. I will see you on Monday. Bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.